Yeah. Thanks, Michael. I'd like to agree with Travis in that Travis said that we're in a worse situation than the Victorians are, and I think he's correct there. The reason he's correct is because the Western Australian Parliament passed the Public Health Act of 2016, which is, without doubt, the most draconian, appalling, satanic piece of legislation that's ever been passed anywhere in the world. People might think that that is an exaggeration, but I'll just give a bit of a history about the Public Health Act of 2016. The Public Health Act of 1911 has served Western Australia extremely well for more than 100 years, and it was a fairly standard view across Western Australia in the 70s, 80s, that we had the best health system in the world. And that was all underpinned by the Public Health Act of 1911. There's no reason to get rid of the Public Health Act of 1911, but that happened, and 2016 Public Health Act took over. Now I'll just read a section from the 1911 Public Health Act, and you'll see why that was thrown out and a new act came in. I'm reading from the Public Health Act of 1911. Conscientious objection to vaccination. No parent or other person shall be liable to conviction or any penalty for neglecting or refusing to have any child vaccinated, or to take any child or to cause any child to be taken to be vaccinated as a protection against any infectious disease. That was taken out. The way it was taken out was not by an amendment. The whole act was thrown out, and that was thrown out with it. And it was replaced with the 2016 Public Health Act, which is 100% about mandatory vaccination. It's nothing else.
Shame.
And I'm going to read parts of the 2016 Public Health Act. I'll just hand the microphone to Michael while I just turn my page. Thanks, Michael. I'm reading from the Act. Now, this Act took years to go through the Parliament. It was supported by both parties. The members of Parliament are supposed to write the laws. They not only didn't write this law, they didn't even read the law, and they were even prepared to speak in Parliament about the law without reading it, and were quite brazen about the fact that they hadn't even bothered to read the law. This is what the law says. Now, if an authorised officer, and an authorised officer, people might think that that is a person who has qualifications or has papers to say they're an authorised officer. It can be anybody. If an authorised officer gives a direction to a person under section 157 to undergo medical observation, medical examination or medical treatment, or to be vaccinated, an authorised officer or police officer may use reasonable force to ensure that the direction is complied with, including, if necessary, now people will not believe this, to remove anything, including underwear, that the relevant person is wearing. If the removal of anything is reasonably necessary to enable a medical examination or medical treatment to be carried out, as the case requires, to enable the person to be vaccinated. So a person, an authorised officer, can turn up at your house with no papers whatsoever, order you to remove your clothing, and if you don't, you're subject to a $20,000 fine, and it could be anybody. It doesn't even have to be a policeman.
Shame.
And this is the sort of law that we have, and all of this is about mandatory vaccination, and it's going to come in. And so the party that I'm setting up, we need 500 members to set up, and it's called No Mandatory Vaccination. Fairly simple, and what I need is 500 members so that we can run at the next state election and have candidates in all the seats. Thanks. And I'm really hoping that I can get, even if I get one person to join up today, I'm hoping it will be more than that. I've got a table over there, so that's all, it doesn't cost anything. I just need 500 members to make sure that we can stand at the next election. It's the only way we can do things. We can't speak to the media. We can't go on Facebook. I've been banned from Facebook. 5,000 Facebook friends I had, all gone. You cannot go on social media. You can't speak anywhere. You can't, it's hard to get protests organised. all of these things, the only hope we've got is to run people in Parliament, for people to run in seats, and that's what I intend to do. So I'm hoping that some people will join up. I don't care if it's one or two, or I prefer a lot more. And anyway, I'll hand back. Thanks everybody. Thanks for organising this. Thanks everybody for turning out.